Welcome to Dad in the Shed. I'm Mark. In this video I'm going to work through turning a part of an oak door into a guitar neck. It's a longer video than normal, but I'm trying to cover everything in it that I've done. So here I am marking out the center line. Well, I say center line. I'm marking a line where I can actually get to. If you see in a second, I've got the fitting for my edge rotor to actually do the straight lines. So I'm marking where that will reach to. It's going to be the center line to my neck, but basically I'm trying to make sure that this is straight all along. And you'll see in a moment that I got lucky, and in effect, yeah, it's straight. So I can use that line now to actually mark my, yes, well done, thumbs up, mark my, route it for my truss rod. So I'm just putting on the shape of the neck at this point with a template I made of MDF. I think I cut that out with the jigsaw and got it to size with a Shinto rasp, files and sandpaper. After this build I'll probably make another one. I think it ended up a bit too thin. So here I'm just marking the stop points a bit more clearly with masking tape than just the pencil lines. I think again next time what I'll do, I'll put the stop points for the outside of my router, which makes it again even easier to see, perhaps even fix some blocks in place, and then I can't actually go any further. My initial edit for this video was pretty much close to an hour, and so what I did was actually go back and watch it, and when each segment, sorry, you'll just see I didn't keep the frame flush for a moment, and you'll see a little bulge in the truss rod channel. It's not enough to really cause a problem. I don't think. I just have to pay a bit more attention next time. So yeah, I watched each clip last time, and when I kind of lost a bit of interest, that's when I actually cut it, and I've now got it down. I think it's about half that, pretty much. Anyway, you'll see the whole process of this neck build here. Now what I'm doing is just cleaning up the edge of this door panel. It was like a tongue and groove. I don't know actually what you actually call this. It's not tongue and groove, is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it actually is tongue and groove. Anyway, I'm clearing it down to get a straight edge because I don't have a bandsaw. I've only got a jigsaw, and I've got the little edge router, palm router thing. So I realized that if I actually make a template for the edge, like a side-on view of the neck, I'm going to put a neck angle in this, and I've not really based it on anything apart from how thick the wood is and how long a neck headstock can be, and where I need to actually fit it in on this. So it's just a bit of drawing lines, figuring out how long the neck is, where I can start the neck, the headstock, and just figure out how much room I've got. So from that, I drew out the shape of an actual neck from the side, then cut that out in MDF, and here I'm going to stick it on the side. And what I'm actually going to do is use the little router to start routing the channel in the neck from the side all the way through. I'm doing it this way because if I'd have cut the neck shape out first, I wouldn't have had a flat edge to run the router again. So if I do it this way, once I've got the neck thickness right, then I can cut the neck shape out, and just lowering the bit on the router as far as it'll go. It doesn't actually reach halfway, as you'll see later on. Kind of works. It's I try and figure out a way of doing it as quick as I can. And this seemed to be the best way. Using templates rather than just relying on hand skills at the moment, because yeah, they're not right up there yet. Yeah, just as you would with any starting routing, you start drilling some holes first. Once I've done a bit along here, I can actually get the router on, and then start clearing the wood away. Yeah, see, I probably should have cut that shorter, that bit. You've seen enough drilling there. That was my rule, to make the video shorter. And then just a nice little shot in slow motion. I've already routed quite a bit out there actually, and I removed the template, and I'm just lowering the router bit down ever so slightly every single time. I know I should probably roll my sleeves up, or even not wear that shirt around power tools. But you can see it's actually, you know, it's not doing a bad job. Yeah, don't ask. It just looked pretty cool as I was watching it. Just cutting the end off here. That's pretty straightforward. It's me using a saw, pointing my skin covered head at the camera. Now I'm just cutting the shape of the neck out with the jigsaw, and that's it really. I've no other way. Well, I could use hand tools, but like I say, I'm impatient. I want to get to the next step as quickly as I can. And there's a great panning shot, which is just basically because of the vibration of the tool moving the camera stand. I've got it on a little tripod, but it's not fixed in place. But it looked pretty cool. It looked like the camera wasn't interested in what I was doing, but you know, hey, I try. Sped up like that, it looks like I'm doing some kind of weird dancing. I don't know. So yeah, cutting the shape out. I've got a bit left over here. So this is where the router bit didn't meet in the middle. I'm using this saw now just to get it through, and I find in a second I start using two hands and it cuts through even faster. So I don't know if that's an approved technique, but it really works. So I'll do that in future, definitely. It's much quicker. It's probably a quicker way of snapping the blade, but it's certainly a quicker way of getting through. Nice warm day, doors open, you know, there we go. Cutting the headstock out. I'm filming all this on an iPhone, and literally, obviously, doing the voiceover. I found that the challenge I have here is I can't film any more stuff, because when I try and finalize the edit into a single video, I'm running out of space on my phone. So if I start filming the next segment of this build, I'll never be able to upload this. And I know once I finish this voiceover, I'm going to struggle. I'm going to have to delete some apps and that kind of thing. So ultimately, I will need to probably buy a camera. I just can't justify it at the moment. So I'm using the iPhone, and I'll carry on as much as I can. But after I've uploaded this video, after you're watching it, I will then probably be deleting the footage from iMovie, which is what I'm using. It still saves all the clips to the cloud. It's just then if I try and do anything again, I've got to actually download it back to my phone, which takes ages and yada yada. As you can see here, it apparently was an oak door. Now, I don't know what combination of wood they've used internally. It was obviously skinned with oak, which you'll see later has given a nice effect, and it's one that, as a happy accident, I might even try and do on a later build. But I've no idea what that wood is, what they've put inside it. At this point, once I cleared it all down, I decided I'm going to get a veneer. It's to match. I actually got rosewood, 3 sheets of rosewood, 2mm rosewood veneer from Amazon. I think I got it, and it came pretty quick, and it was just right to cover the headstock. And you'll see how I did that later. This, I'm cleaning down the bit that the router bit didn't reach. It looks like I'm being incredibly aggressive there because it's sped up, and I don't think I was. I do need to keep on top of sharpening these chisels, and I don't have an actual proper method at the moment. I do have a little stone that I wet and run the chisel against, but I am no expert, not even close. So this is just getting ready to route the next shape out according to the template. You can see there I've got the fretboard. That is I think it's a B grade ebony blank, and all the A grades were fully black. The B grades to me look better. They have more character, but this one had I can't remember what the proper term is, but it had a split down the side from the edge. Fortunately, I was able to use a part of the blank that was solid, so actually it turned out well, and it looks stunning in my eyes anyway. I don't think I show much of this, but basically routing the edge of it. You can see on the headstock I've just gone for a shape at the moment. That's not the finished shape. That was just some ideas. However, I've gone for trying to get as close to getting the strings in a straight line as possible. I drew out a headstock shape. I've cut it out in MDF, and I'm going to put the head shape on. And that's basically straight lines for the strings, a triangle basically, so that I can keep the tuners in a straight line. They're slightly offset from each other, and I've just rounded over the end, and actually it gives a reasonable headstock shape. I will, I think, venture away from that in future and make it. I like the offset look. It's just a bit too ordinary at the moment, but I'll have a play with it and see what I can come up with. There's the homebrew wine in the background, as every good workshop needs. Yeah. Those bar stools, I basically had bar stools in the house. They were being thrown out, so I just covered them in foam and put some... I made a pommel horse for the boys, and that was leftover material, so we have a red stool and a black stool. There we go, look. And here's cutting out the fretboard. Like I say, I got this as close to one edge than the other, because one edge had, is it inclusion? I'm just borrowing big words from Ben Crow here, so maybe it's an inclusion, I can't remember. A split down the side. Yes, truss rod fit. But I think I've tested that before, and that would be late to leave it to now. And again, the sticky side out masking tape trick, just to stop the truss rod from rattling around inside the channel. I won't profess that I copy what I'm doing, because I am just following other leaders at the moment. I hope to one day get good enough to actually be able to tell people how to do things, or at least give advice on how to do things. But at the moment I'm just completely following that advice, unless it's something that I've had to figure out to try and probably fix a mess that I've got myself into. I'll let you know when that happens, of course. I probably should have trimmed the masking tape down, and I'm watching this from the future, and I've realised that that's something I should have done. At the time, I just wanted to get the glue on and get the neck on, get the fretboard on and get it done. It was I probably was a little overexcited to actually get it done rather than thinking which steps I should be taking next. But I think we'll be okay. What I'm doing now is just an idea. I just thought, I'll try this, and I'm just going to wedge the actual whole thing in the vise on the desk. I actually take it out and just add clamps, that's the word, individually to it, because the vise was not getting the right. It was getting some pressure, but then it didn't look right as I was doing it. So yeah, you'll see this, and then I'm adding extra clamps to it, and I thought this should work because it's giving a very even pressure over quite a large area, and that behind it is just a piece of pine with a bit of EVA foam on it to hopefully take the shape of the neck like a clamping coil. But yeah, I took it out and individually put clamps on. This is me taking the clamps off now and seeing what has happened. This is the first neck I've ever built. It's not really cost me anything. That somebody gave me the door. I did buy the fretboard, but I think I bought it for last year's build, and I couldn't make the neck last year. This being, having the rules in front of you a bit more written out and precise. I'm making a neck because I want to be in the scratch build attempt. So this was my first ever neck. Again, free door. I bought the fretboard last year for last year's competition, and I think it cost me about £6 or something like that, this B grade ebony. So all in all, it's not actually cost that much, and the truss rod was from last year as well. Measuring again, getting center lines, all that business. This, I mean, I know it's said if other people are new to this and they're starting out and having a go at things, the getting the center line, it just saves you so much bother, and it's just worth having it there, because everything you go off, if you do it from the center line, you're just reducing the risk of getting things wrong massively. This is a 600mm ruler. I've since bought a 1000mm one because this one's just too short to do scale length, unless I make everything a 600mm scale length, which is obviously an option. So I've since bought myself another one, which also means I should be able to line up the neck with the bridge a bit easier in future as well. So yeah, marking out frets on this. I've used a fret calculator online, and I've since written all the numbers out on a piece of paper, just so that the screen doesn't keep going blank on my phone, and I've got them all there in front of me. And then using just a cheap protractor to get the line across. After marking them in pencil, I then went across with a craft knife just to create a little line to follow in the wood, and I actually bought then a crimson fretting saw. I know I think they're called razor saws, but they seem to have different teeth per inch. different widths and everything. So do you know what? For the first time, I'm going to buy one that's for the job. In future, if I need to, I might, with more knowledge, be able to buy a razor saw or something else to do the frets. But this will do for now. We'll just do for now. That's like I'm saying, yes, buying a fretting saw from Crimson, it'll do for now. This will do the job for now. So yeah, that's the end of the fretboard. Just hacked it off, cleaned it with a bit of with a chisel to go through. There's a bit of, obviously you can see it there, there's a bit of wood at the end I need to clean. This bit took what seemed like an age in the initial cut. I had the full section, and I think I just expected myself to talk through the whole thing, but yeah, I don't need to do that. You don't need to see that. This is nearly done from the actual getting everything in shape. And then the next bit is, I think it's the next bit, is the shaping with the Shinto rasp. I did the whole segment. Shinto rasp I don't know if they did a rounded one as well. That would be incredible. Liking to work fast and still accurate. It's a brilliant tool. It really is. But yeah, a rounded one. And I've got some little rasps. They're not the best, but actually, if you move them fast enough, you can really see the shape happen as you're doing it. But when I use the router for the volute on one side of the neck, it actually dug in a bit too much and messed the shape up. But actually, when I leveled the good side out to the bad side, it made a really good volute that I'm really chuffed with. That's after some rasping. I did the segments, split it into halves again, matched them up, and lo and behold, before you know it, you actually have a neck in your hand. And this is the feeling of getting this far. And I know there's a lot of other builders in this competition this year that is the first time neck building. I'm sure you'll all agree that you get to this point and it feels really good. You feel like you've achieved something. You know, making a guitar, cutting the body out and putting a neck on it, it feels great. But this, when you've actually shaped a neck from a block of wood into something that it actually feels like a guitar neck, it's it's a real sense of achievement. Just then, I don't know if you actually saw it, but between the fingerboard and the neck there is a very pale bit of wood. Now that's the actual, what I think is the oak veneer from the original door, and I think it looks really good. Now I don't know if it's a good idea to put veneer between the neck and the fingerboard, but the finished effect, I think, on this one, I'm really chuffed with. This was terrifying. I'm not going to do it again. I've seen this done on What's on the Bench on Crimson a lot of times, and every time I see it, everybody seems nervous. Now, the way I would do it after this is just simply route out a little channel and drill. I think I'd probably drill from the truss rod side and then route out a channel to be able to fit an Allen key in. It looks clean, it looks nice. This, as it turns out, I was drilling below the truss rod adjustments, and fortunately I'd created a volute on this, and I think I'm probably nicely into the volute there. After drilling, I basically hacked away with a little chisel until I hit the truss rod, and then realised how below the truss rod had gone. So it was now a case of taking away material from just below the top of the neck, below the fingerboard, just to get to the actual access, the adjustment rod, the adjustment thing for the truss rod. Yeah, I'm not going to do it like this again. It felt risky, inefficient, and just terrifying. I think route the truss rod cavity, drill from, well, route the truss rod cavity, route the where the truss rod access is going to go, and then drill from the truss rod cavity side into that access. I think will be what I do in future. It just seems a more accurate and repeatable way of doing it. This is now again just more shaping. This in the full edits went on for a long time. Just tweaking, just a little more. You'll see at the end there was a big bit of the headstock taken off. It was, I don't know at what stage that happened, but actually I just matched it up and flattened it out, and it looked really nice now. It's like a nicely profiled headstock. So that turned into something that now looks intentional and quite pretty. I've not put a veneer on the back. I actually don't mind that on the back of it. It's I'm going to use this door wood for more builds because I've got it. It's free. It's there, and I need to get better at a lot more things. I'm going to buy. I've got 2 pieces of this pine left. This construction pine. I will use it, of course I will. I've got it there. But after that, I'm buying some form of hardwood to build the body because it's cheap and you can get results, and it means I'm practicing building guitars and I'm not blowing a fortune. However, the end results aren't as precise as they could be if it was a good piece of hardwood that I was working on, and it's going to show wear and tear a lot quicker, because I can mark it with nothing. I just happen to have a bit of grittiness on the table working on it will mark the actual wood, so it's not brilliant, but it's serving a purpose. It's meaning that I will get more practicing. So yes, this is rosewood, and I never knew, but when you cut rosewood it smells amazing. It's almost like tea leaves. Really nice. In fact, I don't know, could you make tea out of it? Would it kill me? Answers in the comments if anybody can actually be bothered, and anyone who gets this far. So yeah, I've just roughly shaped out the veneer. This is where I think I need to build myself a jeweler's. I just build myself a jeweler's. An entire jeweler's. What's it called? Yeah, I can't remember. The little L-shaped thing you're holding around so you can cut things out with a hacksaw, and it's got the support under. One of those. I'll probably work on one of those at some stage, because that wood is just flapping around too much and there's a good chance it will just break. So in future I think I will make one of those, or just make a jeweler's. I can do everything then. Getting used to using all these tools has been interesting. I've not done woodwork 30 years, perhaps, from being at school. I have drilled holes, I've sawed things, I've made some things at home, furniture-wise. I've made things with, sticks and branches I've found in the fields nearby, but not actual woodwork. So just getting used to using these tools has been fascinating. You quickly, well, I suppose not in depth because I'm not there yet, but you quickly get used to the sort of nuances of using a saw and how you can change the way you attack the wood and that kind of thing, and how it responds, more aggressive and shallower to more control, that kind of thing. It's interesting. Just that shape that I've cut out there, I did in the last video make a resin truss rod cover thing, and what I've done there is basically marked it on that wood, cut out the shape, because I'm going to stick it on that piece of wood, and that will be the truss rod cover, and it will actually then be a perfect fit. So that's why that shape's there. So that's me gluing on the veneer, clearing the glue off just with a chisel and some paper towel, and clearing it out there as well. I think the next shot after this you'll actually see me take the clamps off. There were a couple of edges where I've had to create some rosewood dust and just dab a little super glue and pat down some rosewood dust in the gaps just to fill it in. I don't think I actually put that on here. I was looking for as much as I could to actually shorten this video, and I think that is one of the bits I cut out. But I literally got a piece of the rosewood I cut off, rubbed it on some sandpaper to create the dust, and then filled the gaps, and it works a treat. I've actually done that later on the fretboard. There, you see, I think I'm trying to squish it into place, but obviously it's just rock solid now. So I do go around it. Again, another bit I shaved, I cut the end off a bit, so I had to quickly glue that back in place. This is me now gluing in frets. I need a small brush. I didn't have one, so I'm just using a bit of plastic, but it tends to get the glue on the top of the fret hole rather than the bottom, and then just wiping the glue off. I'm just going to show you a few because it's the same every step. The first fret I did it was too shallow, so the fret didn't go fully in. So after I'd started, I took it out and resawed the entire frets just a little bit deeper. And again, I created some ebony dust that I then super glued and patted down the edges so that you don't see the gaps near the frets, and it looks really good. It actually looks very finished doing it like that. So I think the next neck I do, I may try binding it, but I could do with some of the tang nippers or something like that, or I've got some wire cuts that I might do. It's just the fret cutters I'm using, the handles are too short, so it's really hard to do. And I ended up kind of mangling a couple just to try and get them cut short. Anyway, that's that, and I'm kind of finished now. These are the sort of money shots at the end, pre-cutting the ends of the frets. But this is what it looks like, and I'm really, really proud of it. It's the first neck I've done. But yeah, really happy with it. Thanks for watching. Please click subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video, and thank you for watching. Okay, take care, bye.